Um, I've been told that a man is supposed to be the provider. Hello everyone and welcome to Lizakuks. It's me again. Yes. Today I'm just going to be having a Q&A. Yes. You know the Q&A I put out there, the first part was basically about me, like questions people had to ask me pertaining my life literally. But these Q&As I'm going to have they are actually questions people send to me when I ask them to send questions concerning my life, but these questions are really general, so I had to do a lot of research. That's why it's taken some time for me to post this. I had to pray as well because I can't just come and sit here and just say anything. And also this is it, like these things I'm going to put out there, they are my opinions. They are things I'm just coming to address them as I can, as I'm being led, not that they are facts or anything that anyone needs to follow. I just have to put it out there so that if I say anything that does not sound right to you, you don't take it to heart, because I'm speaking from me, like I'm speaking as who I am and everything. I hope you guys understand it. Okay, let's get straight into it. So the first question says, my challenge is I can't read for long. If I try to do so, then I fall asleep by the book. I don't want to attribute that to witchcraft. I just don't have interest for reading. My question is, how do I develop the habit of reading at my age? Okay, so the thing is, the person who sent me this is, old and everything. I don't know how old the person is, but I know the person is, old. The person is not in a teenager or anything. It was quite hard for me to get an answer to this. You know the part where you say you don't want to attribute it to witchcraft. I would not say is witchcraft per se. Obviously, if you don't have the interest to read, so if you don't have the interest to read, then you can't obviously attribute it to witchcraft. It's different from if you have the app that you love reading, you're studying, you're reading so hard, and you're studying every day and you keep failing your exam. That you have to pray about it. I would not say, okay, there's a witch doing this or there's a witch doing that, but you have to pray about it concerning whatever it is that you want. Like you're reading, you're praying, and it's not working, you have to pray about it. But with this, in terms of the habit of reading, what I personally think is that you should choose what you want to read. What do you want to get out of reading? Sometimes if you're reading a book and it's boring, you fall asleep. I'm not joking. I know it, because there are times when you be reading a book, and this book, I ordered some books on my summer bucket list, and it's not all of them that I really wanted to read. Some of them I felt like they were not interesting. So you have to literally choose what you want to read. What exactly do you want to get out of reading? So if I am reading a book like this, like about Miles Monroe, I know I'm going to be getting something out of it. This is Single, Married, Separate, Life After Divorce. If I'm single and I want to read it concerning me being single, I know I'm reading it to get something out of being single. So it depends on what you want to get out of reading. That is one thing that will urge you to read, because you need the information. You want it so badly, so you'll be forced to read it without sleeping because you are interested in it. And then the other thing is about the genre. Like, what do you want to read? Like, am I going to read romance fiction, inspirational books? What exactly interests you to read? What pushes you to read in terms of the genre? So you have to choose like carefully, like, okay, I love romance books, so that's what I'm going to stick with. So you start developing it little by little. You can't just, and also one thing is, you can't just start like reading and start getting big books as big as like encyclopedias and stuff. No, when you are trying to get the habit of reading, you start with little books, because you're not trying to get the habit. So you start with little books and everything. Then I also wrote something about audio. Sometimes the books you want, they're in audio versions. You can start by listening to it. When you listen to it, you're like, oh no, it sounds actually really interesting, let me get the book, let me try and read it. So there are so many ways. I don't know if this helps, but that's what I'm thinking for now. So I hope whatever I've said helps. You can get friends who actually like reading as well. You join them and everything. For instance, I love to read inspirational books. I love to read books that I can get something out of. Someone would love to read Harry Potter. I will never read Harry Potter because that's not where my interest lies. But if you give me a book like this, I'll read it. If you give me a book that has to do with like Christian books, I'll love to read it because I feel like I get something out of it. So yes, Please do that and let's see how it goes. Please give me feedback and let me know if this actually helps. The second question says, I'm a young man of 26 years. I've been single for the past 4 years. I've dated once and that was 2013. Now I can't bear it anymore. I want to start dating. Please, can you help? At a point I lost feelings for ladies and I wanted to be alone. Then I concluded that all girls are the same. Can you please advise me? Okay, this is actually a hard one. I had to literally like pray about this because I need to be very careful with what I say. You said you have dated just once and everything. And the first question I wanted to ask you is, what went wrong with your first relationship? The reason why I ask this is because most of the time when relationships fail, we learn a lot from it. So if your relationship failed based on things you did or based on the person you did, most of the time the two parties are at fault. Most of the time there are things the two parties did that brought the relationship to a halt. So I would say that you should search deeper in yourself. Get to know why the relationship ended. If there were things that like you did that caused the relationship, to break, then obviously you need to search yourself and say, okay, this is what I did wrong in my first relationship. I need to work on it. This is what I did wrong. Oh, I need to work on this. Maybe I was so angry. I was getting angry easily. I need to work on this part. So there are things you need to do to know what the reasons why your first relationship ended. That's the first thing. The second thing is for you to search deeper into who you are. Are you physically ready? Mentally ready, psychologically ready, spiritually ready, and financially ready for marriage? You need to ask yourself, because the thing is, if this relationship ended and since 2013 you've not dated, are you actually ready to date? Those are the questions you need to ask yourself. And if you're actually ready to date, are you mentally ready? Are you psychologically ready? Are you prepared, like physically, even to date? Are you financially at a point? Seriously, ladies, let's be real. Are you even financially ready to date? Because the thing is, you need to search yourself and know that, look, I am ready to date and I need to go for it. The part where you talk about how all girls are the same, I'm not trying to defend all the ladies out there, but please, all girls are not the same. The fact that one relationship did not work does not mean the other ones are not going to work. And the fact that one girl probably disappointed you does not mean every girl is going to disappoint you. We are all created differently. If this one did not work, you learn from it and you move to the second one. You don't just pick whatever it is the person did negatively and think you assume that's how all girls are. Please, you need to take that mindset out. If you don't, when you take it to your next relationship, it's going to fail because you will still be looking at the person just as your ex. And that will literally let the relationship fail. The other thing is the part where you say, at a point, you lost feelings for ladies and you wanted to be alone. Most of the time when we all go through breakups and stuff, we always want to be alone. But you come back as yourself. You come back as wanting to date again when you realize, okay, this is it. It's ended. I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to move on. Generally, I'm going to give you this advice. And the advice is, if you're ready to date, go for it. Go for it knowing that this is going to work. And don't go for it thinking all girls are the same. So yeah, she hurt me once or this person hurt me, so I know this one too is going to hurt me. Then it's going to fail. So if it's been years since you dated and you personally feel like, look, I am ready today, go for it. Don't stop yourself and don't compare. Just go knowing that, look, I'm genuinely coming with me as a person. I'm coming as who I am. So search deeper into yourself, as I've said. Know what it is you want and go for it. That's what I have to say. I hope, once again, this helps. The next question says, what advice will you give to a guy in a relationship who most of the time provides for his lady? Personally, yeah, when I read this question, I did not really get like a clear understanding of it, but I'm going to assume he's trying to say he's always the one bringing something on board and the lady isn't. So what advice will I give to that? The thing is, I have been brought up to know that a man is a provider, even in the Bible and everything. So I'm going to talk to the lady, yes, literally, and say that, look, ladies women, in Genesis chapter 2 verse 18, it talks about how women are the helpmates. We're supposed to be helping the man. And when you come to Proverbs chapter 31, I actually have my Bible here. You know the part where Proverbs 31 verse 11, and it says, her husband puts confidence in her and he will never be poor. So if the question is saying, what advice would I give to a guy in a relationship who most of the times provides for the lady? I will personally say to the lady that you were supposed to be a helpmate, not someone who is always taking and bringing nothing on board. I'm not saying you are the one supposed to be buying the shoes for the guy, the this for the guy, or the that for the guy. But if you look at Proverbs chapter 31 verse 11, it talks about how her husband puts his confidence in her and he will never be poor. It's not about you getting into the relationship knowing this is what you're going to get from me. Money is what you're going to get from me. So every day you're extorting from the man. By the time the marriage even comes, if I should put it, if they are dating, by the time the marriage even comes, all the money is literally gone. What exactly is the person even saving towards the marriage? Do you get my point? So if you look carefully to the lady, and you even look at the part where Proverbs chapter, the same 31 verse 16 talks about, she looks at land and buys it, and with money she has earned, she plants a vineyard. You need to be the one to support the man. It's not always you taking from the man. And to the guy, personally speaking, you need to sit the lady down and speak to her. Because honestly, you don't have a future with a lady who is always taking and not bringing anything on board. You need to be able to sit down and speak to her and say, look, I'm not financially strong and you're draining me. You need to be honest because you're a man. Number one, you're a man. You need to be honest to her and tell her, look, you're draining me. And even the lady, you were supposed to know you're supposed to be a helpmate. Not necessarily you every day taking from the man. You're supposed to also bring something on board. And that is draining the men. I'm speaking for the men today, but it's really draining the men. Because by the time the marriage comes up, you realize that you've taken everything. And he is just literally looking at you like, I love you, but you really extorting a lot. So the advice I'll give to the guy is to please sit down with the lady, speak to her, let her understand that, look, I love you and everything, but you're really draining me. Like, I love you. I think this is how we should go about it. I'll be supporting you financially. I'll be there, but that is to what I can do, my capabilities, not beyond what I can do. And the lady should know that, look, you're supposed to be a helpmate, not the one always extorting money. You're supposed to be bringing something on board, or you're supposed to even be helping him. You understand? Sometimes you, the lady, you might not be financially strong, but the support you give to the man will force the man to even give you some money without you even asking the man. That is the advice I'm going to give. I hope that helps again. These are the questions, the general questions I got, and I hope I've answered them very well. As I said, I had to pray about this. I had to try and get Bible verses to back it. I had to read to get an understanding of whatever the person was saying as well. And so please bear with me if I did not answer the question to your satisfaction. Please get to me, write to me, let me know if you have any other questions, and I'm here to answer all the questions. Thank you so much for watching, and as I always say, please subscribe and let's get this going. Bye for now.